Just one vehicle in our car park today. This is for our whole site, and I'm the only person here. So that's it. Another season done and over with. All the gardeners have gone home. All over, done with. Not bloody likely, no way. Loads to do, plants to plant, seeds to grow. So is that it for the season? Is that it for the gardening year? Well, not for me. Just showing you the car park and a little bit of dramatic footage just to get you interested. But really from this point on, I won't see many gardeners down here until probably maybe the end of February into March. Though I'll be one of the only people that's daily down here. There's another guy across the way, keeps a lot of fowl. And apart from maybe one or two others, that will be it. I won't see anybody else. Everyone's garden shuts down, where mine are just springing to life. You've seen me on my advanced planting video, the last one I put up, going mad, planting stuff everywhere. And I've got loads of seedlings in the polytunnel to pot on, loads more planting to do, more harvesting to do, and I'll be out here just about every single day all year. And that's the thing, gardening doesn't stop just because the weather changes. I think it was Billy Connolly said there's no such thing as the wrong weather, there's just the wrong clothing. If you get wet, it's fine, you can take wet clothes off and get a shower and warm up. Skin is waterproof. If it gets cold, put an extra layer on. But get out into that garden, get some fresh air and get some pleasure from it and enjoy it, and get all those winter jobs done that you can now. If you're working on soil, dig your beds over, spread some manure or compost out, do those little repairs to fences and things that need doing. There's always something to do, and if you're getting out, you're getting that fresh air and you're getting all those benefits. Right, quick whistle stop tour around the plot so you can see where I'm up to right now. So just inside the front gate, I've got this whole bed of cauliflower, but it's not your usual stuff. It's an Italian variety, it's a purple variety. There's a couple of heads in here that need harvesting now. I've just pulled the netting off this morning so I can get in there, do a little bit of weeding and tidying up for winter. So that's also a good tip. All this sort of rubbish at the base of the plant, if you get rid of it, it can be havens for slugs, and it can let air in as well through those winter months, so stopping viruses and diseases and all kinds of bad stuff going on with your plants. Just clean it out. 10-minute job, that bed will be done. Next bed up, beetroot. This was late planted, but it's still bulbing now. Well, that's a weed. There, we can just see in there. I've got some coming, and we'll be eating these through the coming months. Next bed up, lovely patch of nettles down the end. They can all come out and go on the compost. This bed is purple sprouting, and this is a tip I gave last night in the Pottymouth Garden Club. To stake your plants, this purple sprouting all needs staking up and supporting before winter winds hit. Next bed again, a bit of weeding needs going on down there. Again, not very long because it's no dig, and we've a lovely patch of chard to go at over the next couple of months up to Christmas, and that will keep us going. It's lovely, brilliant stuff, that is. Parsnips in this next bed. They're not as tall as you think they look. From out here they look massive, but the bed, if we pull that off, you can see where the bed comes to, but it's still a good crop. I've pulled a couple earlier in the season and they were looking promising. Very hopeful for that. And some beetroots, they haven't done particularly well because they're in the shadow of the parsnips. Some more spring onions to pick there. I've still got a ton of carrots. These all need to come up in the next couple of weeks, and I think I've probably said that three or four times so far. The bed above it, the sweet corn is all done and dusted. All that stuff needs pulling out and composting. Some sprouts there, they've been attacked by caterpillars. I'm going to leave them in, see what happens. They're nothing wasted, but they're staked. Next bed up, this was where my garlic was earlier in the season, garlic and elephant garlic. And I planted a couple of types of Savoy cabbage in here. And you can see these are doing really well in here. They need some filling out yet, but they're still a very, very good size considering how late they were planted. A whole bed of them. Again, just pulled the cover off this morning because I need to get in there, take some of these weeds out. This next bed up was where my onions and shallots were. Now got kale in there. They're staked, just need tying in. And this next bed here was flowers. I had ammi and cornflowers in this bed. Now got a couple of types of spring cabbage and some more kale at the end. Over here I've got leeks. You should note that these were the earliest ones I planted. Planting your leeks too earlier in the year will send them to seed. So I've got a couple in there and then a whole bed behind it, which I'm not doing too bad. There's only one or two gone to seed in there. I'm quite happy with that. Some fennel over at the end. And I think this lot, can't quite remember, but I have a feeling that it's all turnips under there. So that'll be great moving forward. And of course, the obligatory courgette. This bed has been a flower bed for a couple of years now. I've let it go because that is going this year. I want to pave that whole area there and put water containers there to harvest water directly off the polytunnel. I want to make this a water catchment area so that I can use it directly on all the beds behind me, all around this area really. So that's all coming out this winter. So again, plenty to do. Over this side there was a smaller bed here and of course the pond. I think that might be a camellia there, I can't remember now. Or a peony or something. Anyway, it's one of them. Of course with pond, this needs some attention as well, some detailing, tidying up. And of course, me bug Ben. Over here I've got my artichokes growing away through here, and these tubes I used to grow carrots in. This all needs to come out this year as well, because again I want to put more hot water harvesting in this area here. So down at this end of the tunnel, after the success of the crack heat system this year, when I grew things in these two little boxes, crack heat is just a simplified hydroponic solution. I've now got these tubs. These are 60 litres and they are going to be overkill for what I'm going to use them for. They need a hole drilled in the top of each. They're all filled with water now, and I just need to get some feed in them and adjust the pH. That will be for another video, maybe a tips and clips, just go over it roughly. And then I'm going to grow in these over the winter, or try to, and see what we get and where we go from there. Now I'll just pan across from the big tunnel so you get an idea of where we are on the plot. But this is two beds, much the same as beds you've seen earlier. They're the same size, and this was my companion planting bed for the year. The idea being to grow flowers and vegetables in the same bed and use the attraction qualities of one plant to deter the pest of another. That was how it was set up, and all was going well until these nasturtiums went absolutely ballistic and just took off and took over. And to be honest, I was quite happy to let that happen because it looks absolutely delightful. It really, really does. Up here is the cobea, the climbing plants. You can see we've got flowers just coming here. I have had a few flowers on it already. Can't seem to find you one. There we go, I think that's one here. There we go. They're lovely. And onion seed heads, lots of nasturtiums, and lots to clear out. And all this is going to be going into that hot box composter in the big tunnel. So you can see it's absolutely rammed in here with material for a compost heap. Sweet peas are now done and over. They've had it, they had their day. Still one or two, but not too concerned. There's one or two more cobea in here. One about to open up there. I think they're lovely. There we go. Right, into the little tunnel now. So, walking into the little tunnel, I've still got tomatoes growing in here, fruit on the vine, waiting for it to ripen. And you can see down here, by making that choice, some over there is actually ripening. At the base of the tomatoes, we've got green beans, dwarf green beans with crop on. So I'll be harvesting them this week and removing them. And all this will be replaced with the Chinese mustards. This bed is completely empty and derelict now. This needs a quick sort out, quick fork through, little repair down the bottom there, and then we're good to go to plant this for the winter also. So down in between the tunnels, I grew potatoes in the tubs all the way down here, and most of them are out now apart from this lot. This is my Sarpomera, and you can still see that mostly they're looking healthy and green, but I'll be cutting the tops off these, composting the tops, and then I'll get round to emptying those. And these couple on the end here are my potato towers. I only got 2 high with them. I think it was Stephen Blaze may have got 3 or 4 high, but I'll be looking to empty them soon and see exactly what we've got in there. And they're planted with pink fir apples. Right, we'll move on to the flower section. So I'm stood about halfway down on the left hand side as you look at the plot from the front at the moment, looking back up to the rear of the small tunnel. You can see now that the sweet peas have basically just about had it. I could, if I wanted to, probably tidy that up, take off everything on there, give them a feed and a water. And I might get another flush of blooms into next month if the weather holds, but we'll see how I feel when I come to clearing up here. The old sweet William bed needs a little bit of attention, and it'll get it. And then I've got these newly planted roses down here. They'll need some pruning before the winter winds set in. Probably prune those almost all the way down. But anyway, and then the dahlia walk, not as good as I wanted it this year, but it's his first year. Next year it'll be a lot better. And then all these new raised beds full of flower. There's still flowers here to be picked. These are scabious, absolutely delightful. A whole bed, and that's a joyous thing to see. That's for my rudbeckia. Looking across the top of the statice there, you look up at the sunflowers. So, and thankfully, I mean, you might have seen Tony's video. Tony C. Smith had a video where he discovered, and we discussed, and I found out something I didn't know, that sunflowers are allelopathic. They will try and stop other things growing with the toxins they give out. So the fact that they're in all in one bed is good for me, because it didn't stop anything else growing. But it also means that when I come to dig these out, I will have to dig them out and get rid of any of their rootstock, and then be more careful in future where I actually do plant them. But all of this vegetation for all these flowers that have now sort of had the day and gone over. These Erigeron are still doing nice. These are African daisies. Might take some of them up today. All of this foliage will all be going into that white composter in my big tunnel. So that's the material that's going in there, and all the stuff from the companion planting bed in the front, and anything else I can get my hands on as well. Right, let's go across there and have a look at the hot composter that I was kindly given. So this is my hot bin composter, and I was given this as a kind of a trial, and also to feed back information to the company that made, design, produce and sell it. So we're in the process of doing that at the moment, but I've been kind of blown away really with how easy this has been to use. And every time I fill it up, I'm filling it up every 2 or 3 days at the moment, keeping on top of it, because it just drops so quickly, because it's composting so quickly. I'll open it up now. Hopefully you can see how hot it is when I do that. Hopefully you can see that steam coming out of it. And this has dropped 1.5 foot in about 2 days. I think it was 2 days last time I filled it, right to the very top. That's why when I pull it up, there's all kinds of bits of vegetation stuck around the top. I've got a great big pile of green vegetation there, a bag of wood chip, a bag of corn husks from the corn I was husking at home, and God knows what else. Oh, a bag of grass clippings in there as well. I've a load of card there. It's all going to get ripped up, mixed up and thrown in there, and that's in. I've got enough material there for about a week, I reckon, to keep this filled up. And yeah, it's composting well. I just can't wait to get the actual composting out when it's finally full and finished. In the newer of my 3 tunnels, most of this side of has been cleared out of all the old plants and stalks. There's still a few stalks down there. This all wants a good digging over. This is normal soil gardening in here. And along the back, these are the Crimson Crush that I grew from side shoots, and you can see there's tons of fruit on there, and also all the ripe fruit we picked off about a week ago. We've got fruit under there ripening now. Actually looks like they need a good water. But yeah, fruit ripening. So while that's happening, I'll just let these carry. They've all been topped out at the top. Let them carry on. But this is the tunnel I need to do some work on. I need to put a window and a door at either end on a greenhouse opener, so that lets ventilation. And I've got a whole roll up thing to go that bottom part of that side of the tunnel, which will roll up and allow ventilation at the hottest parts of the year. And all that stuff is in this corner. That's the bar for it, and you can just see the winder and the plastic for it. It's all ready to go, but I need to fix it up and put proper catches and latches on these doors, because at the minute it's a piece of string holding this together and a couple of screws. So need to get that sorted, Stephen. That's the main project for this winter. So there we go, one whistle stop tour ended, and it was whistle stop, I know that, and I apologise for making it so quick. I wanted to try and condense it all into a reasonable video size so everyone could get a sense of what I'm doing, and also get the sense that through the winter, carry on gardening, go and sow some seeds. If you're not sure what to sow, have a look at my September sowing guide. There's tons of ideas in there. You can grow all this stuff and more if you just keep sowing the seeds. And if something doesn't work, you learn by it. Take some notes, write things down when you sowed them, what the weather was like, you know, all the boring stuff. But if you do that, you learn, and it becomes parrot fashion in your mind that you can do it like I do now without notes. But that's it for this video. Look after yourselves. I'll see you in a couple of days. Take care, stay safe. I'll see you all very soon. Ta-ra now.